that is anxiety. Anxiety, you know what is the meaning of that word. If when there is some examination, for example, examination is going to come on to 11, those who are studying may feel some stress. They are anxious. And if you are not studying anything, you may not have any tension. Because the result is almost sure what happened. But if you are not studying something, you have some tension. That is what we call anxiety. It is a body's natural response to a stress. But when stress happens, there are two. If you know that you have done everything well, your stress level is very low. If you feel that you have done something but not everything completely, you will have a higher stress level. So that is how the stress is usually happening in your body. It's a feeling of fear or apprehension about what to come. Apprehension means we are not sure. A feeling of not sure about future. That is apprehension. So it is a feeling of fear or lack of surety about what is going to come. Is known as anxiety. For example, you are going to school for the first time. After this degree, you are going to another college or you are going to a job. And the first day will be very tense day for you. You are going to a new place, or most of them are unknown people. And even one important problem also the people, especially young guys, will be facing is that when you go to a hospital, there will be a lot of age difference also, especially if you are in a government sector. Most of the people will be very older people, very senior people. There you are being placed as a very young person, and keeping the conversation going, keeping the friendship is very challenging for in the beginning. But after a period of time, you will gradually adjust to that. So the first day in a school, first day in an office, going to a job interview, somebody, if I am asking you to give a speech, for most of the people it will be a challenging thing. Even if your speech is written, nowadays it is easy. You go to ChatGPT, you want to talk about the biodiversity Kerala. So prepare a speech on biodiversity Kerala, it will prepare a speech. But still, presenting the speech may be a tension for you. So that is how a lot of anxiety will be happening, a lot of stress will be happening. So these are some of the important things which are creating anxiety or stress. But if your feelings of anxiety are extreme, last longer than 6 months, and are interfering with your daily life, you may have anxiety disorder. So little bit anxiety will be natural for everyone. That is common. But if this anxiety is remaining, if the stress is remaining in your body for several months, if more than 6 months, you can be classified as a person with anxiety disorder. So that is how anxiety and anxiety disorder can be distinguished. So a prolonged feeling of anxiety is leading to anxiety disorder. Now in the case of anxiety disorder, the feeling of fear may be with you all the time. Every time you are afraid of something, then you are having anxiety disorder. Every time you feel so much stressed, so then you have anxiety. It is an intense, sometimes debilitating. Debilitating means destroying. So it is an intense, sometimes debilitating feeling. In extreme cases, it may prevent you from entering an elevator. For example, some people may be quite afraid of closed spaces. Now, lift means mostly a small space, and sometimes many of the lift may not have any window to the outside. Some lift may be having glass opening, so the people with claustrophobia or fear of closed space may feel more comfortable. But in the lift, like our own lift that we see in our college, it is a closed space, and these people may not enter into such spaces because they may fear if suddenly power goes, what happens. So they have a lot of fear like this. So they may prevent you from entering an elevator or crossing a street. If you are too much anxious or stressed, the even crossing a street may be a very challenging thing for you, or even leaving your For most of these people, home may be the most comfortable place. And leaving the home may be putting in a lot of tension. If left untreated, anxiety will keep getting worse. So there is a one problem with anxiety disorder. And anxiety disorder are the most common form of emotional disorder. So that can affect anyone at any age. And according to American Psychiatric Association, women are more likely than men to be diagnosed with anxiety disorder. And what happens with the why this is happening is that women are mostly concerned about simple things in life, where men mostly are focused upon sometimes more like a job or making money or building a house or such things are mostly affecting men. But women are mostly focused on like what I should prepare for dinner, what I should prepare for breakfast tomorrow, and how I should, how much mark my son or daughter will be getting for the examination. If you ask your mother, they will be more tensed than your father. So because that is how women are normally thinking. Father may not have much problem. So that it may be easier for you to fool your father, especially in matters with examination. But with your mother, it may be little more difficult because mother will be observing you, will be asking you, meddling with your examination or study things much more than your father. So this is how. That is why women have a lot of things to worry. And at home also, women will be more concerned about maintaining the family relationship, and that also creating a lot of tension because sometimes if especially maintaining a relationship with the father-in-law, mother-in-law, if you are in such a situation, that will be creating a lot of tension. If you ask your mother what are her main tension, especially this may be one tension if you are living with your grandparents. So this kind of problems are there. That is why women tend to have, and there is one reason why women are actually programmed by the nature to look closer. Even if you from evolutionary point of view, it is like women always look at the immediate world. Men look at the wider world. And because you know how the nature has created man and women, if there is the sound produced by a man can be heard far longer. Sound produced by women can reach only the immediate space. The amplitude of sound is different. So that kind of thing is, so nature programmed women in such a way that women focus on immediate surroundings more, man focus on, for example, if you ask somebody and what are the problems of that person, women are far better in finding out the fault. Men very rarely find out the fault. That is the problem with the adjusting with that is the problem also, because women know what closely observe how many moles, how many deficiencies are there on their face, everything, very minute things women notice. Very men do not notice such things. That is the reason why women have too many tension. So women are programmed for immediate surroundings. Men are programmed to think wider. It should be the way, then only in the life, because if you specialize very well in that, you may not face much problem and it can be quite comfortable. Then we have a lot of topic on what are the different type of anxiety disorder. One is panic disorder, experiencing recurring panic at unexpected times. So that is known as because people with anxiety disorder may suddenly experience, for example, in a very family get together, if someone person is reacting very unusually to a certain fear, maybe a cockroach. Some people will be reacting very severely, then we call it as a panic disorder. Then phobia, excessive fear of specific object, situation or activity. Some people, for example, children naturally have a fear of darkness. Even in young children, we can notice that they are always fear of darkness. Some people fear taller buildings. Some people maybe have a fear of closed space, narrow space. So different type of fear will. Some people may have fear of fire. So different types of fear is that, and most of the time this fear may be this kind of phobia may be the result of some unpleasant activity experience they have faced in their early life. Then social anxiety disorder, extreme fear of being judged by others in social situation. For example, you are going to a marriage function. A lot of people will be there, and persons with a social anxiety disorder naturally have intense fear. If there is a possibility of avoiding going to that marriage, definitely they will avoid that because they find it extremely difficult to be with the group of people, and that is known as a social anxiety disorder. Sometimes you may feel that you are very good in everything. The problem you face is that when your own children or somebody in your home, maybe your husband or spouse, are experiencing this kind of problem, you find it difficult to, you know how to solve that problem. But solving that problem with someone, especially very dear to you, is a big challenge. Everybody will be facing. Maybe we are very smart, but our children may not be that much smart. Sometimes our spouse may not be that much smart. Sometimes parents have this kind of problem. So everybody will be facing some kind of problem. So even if you are very good in that, sometimes you have this problem, but your spouse may not have any problem. And communicating your fear with his spouse is another challenge. He may never understand what are your tensions. You say a lot of with a lot of trouble you are trying to express, and that person is not understanding. Then again, it also a problem. Then obsessive compulsive disorder, recurring irrational thoughts that lead you to perform specific repeated behavior. This is also common in children, but also common in many adults. For example, coming to examination with a blue pen, the same blue pen you wrote for your last examination, because you thought that when I was writing with that blue pen last time I got good marks, and next time also you are doing the same thing, and next time you are also good. So you that time also you wrote. So once you wrote with the black pen, you got bad marks, poor marks. Then this becomes a kind of imprinting. This will be imprinting in your body. It's a very simple thing. I have seen that many children are going. Even my daughter, she only go to examination with one particular bag. Even if the bag is very ugly, still she will take only that. So everybody has this kind of problem. But if to certain level it is okay. But if it is beyond a certain level, we call it as obsessive compulsive disorder. So this is some kind of obsessive compulsive disorder may be present in most of the people, but but if it is too much, if it is affecting your daily life, if it is affecting your interaction with other people in your family and your friends, we have to categorize it as an obsessive compulsive disorder. Then separation anxiety disorder, fear of being away from home or loved one. If you ask your children, especially young children, have this problem very much. Separation anxiety disorder. So some people will be working very well, but if their wife or husband or somebody they are loving is away from them for a long time, they behave completely differently. So this kind of problem happens because for them their husband or wife or lover may be a source of comfort. When that comfort is away, they feel completely stressed or anxious. And this is known as separation anxiety disorder and illness anxiety disorder, anxiety about your health. And these people will be going to the doctor every time, and doctor will be making a lot of money with these people, and hospitals are also happy. But after some time, after making the money they will finally say, you feel okay. I don't think you have a problem because they got the money they wanted. But then they will ask you to consult a psychiatrist then. So this is known as illness anxiety disorder. Then post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety. For example, you had a accident, some kind of accident, any kind of accident, and after following that, you feel stressed about that event. You are not able to work normally, talk normally, interact normally. That is known as a post-traumatic stress disorder. Some people, especially after surgery, may be having this kind of problem. Some people will be having especially after experiencing an accident, will be having this kind of problem. And so these are all as a post-traumatic. So for some people, the loss of death of an immediate relative can lead to this kind of problem. So different type of anxiety disorders are there, and most of the time the symptoms of this anxiety are increased heart rate, rapid breathing, restlessness. Of course, all of you have experienced this kind of problem. Then trouble in concentrating and difficulty in sleep. So if you are too much stressed, you cannot sleep. Everybody knows that. If your stress level is too much, your sleep will be broken. Some people can sleep because some people and the sleep habits will be different. For some people, even if there is an earthquake, they will sleep quite okay. For some people, even if a light disturbance is there, then they may not be able to sleep. So sleep will be always affected if there is some kind of tension or anxiety. Then what we can do to treat yourself? For some people, lifestyle changes may be enough to cope with the symptom. So that is one thing that you can do. If you feel that your present lifestyle, the way you are living, the type of person you are interacting, the type of work you are, for example, you are working in a one office and going to that office every day is creating the problem, then try looking for another job. That is the best way to solve this problem permanently. Then treatment help you overcome the symptoms and lead a more manageable day. For example, sometimes some people will have too much stress. They are not unable. For some people, taking some medicines may be helpful. But the problem with the medicines is that medicine make you dependent. And all the psychiatric medicines have their own side effects. So it is always best not to take medicine. Better go for some counseling or some kind of psychotherapy, even meditation. That is why these kind of things. For example, people for praying may be helpful. That is why sometimes some people will be going for prayer meetings very often because they find it that they feel that such kind of prayer meetings can help them. So people will be having approaching different, though sometimes talking with a therapist or a psychologist. So if you study psychology, you can help people with these different types of problem. So one important thing is that when you feel that you have a problem, the best thing is to either talk about your problem with someone you know, someone you feel that it may be safe to talk. If you have such a person, then most of your problem will be going away over a period of time. If nobody is available, you have to go for a professional help of talking with a psychologist. Even then, they are also busy. They may spend some 20 or 30 minutes with you. But even that 20 or 30 minutes they are sharing with you may be enough to make a change in your life. So most of the time, talking about a problem will help you to address the problem. And sometimes even nowadays this is the problem most of the time people are facing. We are living in a world of connected world. For example, now you just think about how many messages you are sending in WhatsApp, you are with your classmates and friends. Now think about how many messages you are sending with your plus two students, plus two classmates, very little. And this is what is going to happen after 6 months with you also. Once people are living a place, living a situation, they suddenly withdraw. And after a period of time, even a normal hi or a small good morning, nothing will come. So even when we are living in a world of connected apps, basically most people are very lonely, very alone, and this is a challenge the modern life people are facing in modern lifestyle. So one important thing is that keeping making money is important, because if you do not have enough money, you cannot live happily. But at the same time, keeping a work and life balance is also very important, and because everybody has a different dimension. We have the physical health, then we have a mental health, then we have emotional health, we have to maintain a family health. There is a spiritual health because I learned about situation in Finland. In Finland, people do not believe in God much, and they have everything. The government will be providing everything, and they also do not have children also. But after 60, they have a high suicide rate. The problem is that if after a period of 60, people most of the time do not have much thing to do. So if you feel that there is no God, you feel the life completely meaningless and empty. That is why these people are sure. So in our tradition, it is not like that. We can have a meaning in life till the end of that. That is a good aspect of Indian way of life, and that you should appreciate. And in every religion, there are a lot of things to help you to overcome city. For example, in Hindu lifestyle, there are now we have different type of sanya now. What we call last. Sannyas, different types of ashramams are there. So last is sannyas or something like that. Means we have to withdraw from family and we have to do more meditation so that the people will feel that even if death is coming, nothing, I am not going to lose any. That kind of situation. So every religion has that kind of thing. So this will be helpful to solve some of the problem. But remember also one important thing, religion is also an area where there are a lot of business interests are also there. So always find out the right type of people to interact. Otherwise, just going to church, just going to the temple may not be going to help you. So remember about maintaining the work and life balance so that we don't have other much problems. Then one more topic is that we will discuss in another class.